We're delighted to have Brian Marsh, OBE, Chairman of the Marsh Christian Trust, and Stephen Allen, Head of Learning and Programmes, National Museums of Scotland, to present the awards. You may know that Stephen was a trustee of Engage, Chair of the Group for Education and Museums, a board member of the Museums Association, and Head of Learning at the National Portrait Gallery. Now, the Marsh Christian Trust was founded by Brian Marsh in 1981, and the Marsh Awards for Excellence in Gallery Education are some of 75 awards presented by the Trust, which recognise the unsung heroes across the charity sector in areas as diverse as heritage, arts, literature, social welfare, conservation and ecology. And the Trust works with organisations such as Engage to identify the best candidates for the awards. And in the last 4 years, there have been 16 award winners, including gallery educators, artists working in education, a volunteer and a curator. And each has received £500 and used this to further their professional development. Winners have said how much they appreciated the award. It's helped them to feel valued for their work and raised the profile of education work in galleries and the visual arts. There were 27 nominations this year for the Marsh Awards from across the UK and internationally from colleagues at all stages of their careers, working as freelancers and employees. And for the first time this year, there's a new award for colleagues outside of the UK. Nominations were judged by sector colleagues and by the Marsh Christian Trust. And the panel were impressed by the quality of nominations, which demonstrated the dedication of people working in gallery and visual arts education. And I'm delighted to announce and to introduce Stephen Allen to announce this year's awards and Brian Marsh to present them.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Leslie, and thank you to Jane for inviting me over today. I'll just point out, of course, when I left Edinburgh, the sun was shining, and I get to Glasgow, and it's raining. But I won't make anything of that, obviously. Reading the citations and descriptions of the award winners truly is very, very impressive. Array of achievements and work that's been done, and the citations also speak very much about the commitment, the vision of those individuals, about them going beyond the call of duty. So I think they will all deserve a round of applause when they're announced. So I'm here to announce and invite up on stage the winners of the Marsh Award for Excellence in Gallery Education, and so they're announced in alphabetical order. And first up is Georgia Close, who's Manager Student and Teacher Engagement for MCA Australia in Sydney. And she's the winner of the inaugural Marsh Award for colleagues outside of the UK. And she works with a group of artist educators, programme coordinators and teachers. And she mentors student interns and teachers and engages with schools individually and develops long-term relationships that result in repeat visits. And in true Oscars fashion, Georgia, of course, isn't able to be here this evening, unless she's about to burst through the doors, nor do we have Kate Blanchett accepting on her behalf, but we are going to see a short film that she's recorded. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Georgia from the Museum of Contemporary Art Australia. I'm thrilled to be receiving a Marsh Award, which I'll accept on behalf of the whole student and teacher engagement team at the MCA. I'm really honoured to work with a passionate and dedicated team of artist educators and program coordinators who are really committed to producing inspiring, innovative and challenging learning experiences for students and teachers. At the MCA, we work with a team of artist educators who are practising artists that we work with to develop and deliver all of our learning programs, not just for students and teachers, but for all of the audiences that we work with in the MCA learning team. We work with artists as educators because we recognise artists as people who can help us look, think and create in new ways. In our learning programs for students and teachers, we're interested in exploring what creative learning looks like through engagement with contemporary art. So we aim to develop learning experiences which are playful and active and that support students and teachers to create their own pathways of connection with artworks. We do this through creative learning strategies and inquiry questions that emphasise the idea of bringing your own story to an artwork and taking away fresh meaning through shared learning experiences. In studio sessions, we open up opportunities for students and teachers to engage in a practical way with some of the ideas, materials, processes that they've encountered through artworks in our galleries, emphasising the idea of process over product by offering up space and freedom to play, to explore, to take risks, to experiment and collaborate. The student and teacher engagement team at the MCA develop a range of programs for diverse learning audiences. So we work with students, we work with teachers, we work with early learning groups, we work with students with specific needs, and we also engage with audiences remotely through digital excursions and through digital learning resources. One of the key learning programs we run is our Bella program for students with specific needs. This program provides opportunities for children and young people with a range of needs to engage with contemporary art in the galleries and come back to our learning centre to have practical experiences in our creative studios. A key component of the program is the opportunity to experience our Bella Room, which is a dedicated artist commission which provides space for children and young people to engage with the contemporary artwork through sensory experience. So our current Bella Room is by an artist called David Capra, and his work, Tina's Bath Time, explores issues of anxiety and the ways that we can help ourselves and others overcome anxiety. So in Tina's Bath Time, the artist has taken inspiration from his sausage dog Tina, who's very nervous about having her bath. And so through his artwork, he invites Bella audiences to help Tina through this experience and find ways to help her overcome her anxiety. So we might give Tina a pat, we might give her a rub down with some brushes, we might sing her a lullaby, or explore new ways of helping her feel calm and able to take on that bathing experience. In Australia, we have a very big country with a small population spread out, and as a national organisation we're interested in exploring ways that we can connect with students in areas who might not have direct access to a museum or a gallery or any opportunity to engage directly with contemporary art. So through our digital excursion program, we're able to connect remotely with students in their classrooms across the country, and our artist educators deliver a range of creative learning experiences for them that engage with artworks in the MCA collection. We're also interested in exploring new ways of working with artists to create opportunities for students to have a direct experience of an artwork through a remote connection or through an online learning experience. The MCA Australia has a long history of presenting the work of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander artists. So contemporary Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander art practice forms a really important part of our learning programs here. We work closely with Aboriginal artist educators and curators to develop learning programs that are informed by Indigenous ways of knowing, learning and understanding, and that emphasise the voices of Aboriginal artists.
Our next award winner is Beth Frazer, who is a Community Engagement Initiative Trainee from Mid-Antrim Museum Service in Northern Ireland during an 18-month internship which was supported by the Irish Northern Ireland Museums Council. Beth has delivered a community engagement programme called Ways of Seeing, A Sense of Place, highlighting the built heritage of Mid-Antrim through the museum's art collections. And this comprises community engagement, 2 touring exhibitions, and the innovative use of digital technology, which has supported engagement with new audiences. So I'd like to invite Beth up, and she'll also introduce her film. Thank you.
I'd just like to thank the Marsh Christian Trust for the award and to Engage for inviting me here today. Many thanks to Elaine Hill for nominating me and to the Northern Ireland Museums Council for supporting my placement at Mid-Antrim Museum Service. Receiving this award definitely contributes to making all the hard work worthwhile. It's lovely to be recognised and appreciated for my role within museums and galleries. Congratulations to the other winners, and thank you again. The video that's going to be shown is just a snippet, really, of the project that I was involved in, and it's made of film work that we had throughout the project. Thank you. My name's Beth Frazer. I'm from Green Island in Carrickfergus. I work here at Mid-Antrim Museum, and I'm working for the Mid-Antrim Museum Service as a Museums as a Partnership. I'm working on the Community Engagement initiative here, and I'm the Community Engagement Trainee. Today we're doing an event for the participants of the Community Engagement Project, people who have been involved since the beginning. This project started in April, and we're now in January. So we're celebrating basically the year that has passed and the achievements that they have made through the project. It is a project on the theme of built heritage, and it's using the museum art collections as a stimulus for that. It's working with groups, looking at the artworks in the collection and focusing in on the built heritage and built environment in those artworks.
Yeah, my name's Richard Gregory. I'm the chairman of the Mollusk Community Action Group, but I come from England originally. I've been over here 15 years now. I work at the Braid in Ballymena, and part of the Ways of Seeing and Sense of Place project, where as a community group we were invited to participate in various activities that they've arranged, and this is one of them, and it's fantastic. I would recommend that to anybody, any group especially. We were restricted a wee bit in numbers for today, but we could have brought in more and would hope to do so in the future. I know Beth has got things in the pipeline and we'll definitely be involved with it without a shadow of a doubt. Absolutely love it.
My name is Vera McCune, and I actually live out at Galley in Ballymena, but I go to the Galley Over 60s Club, which is absolutely fantastic. And I think everybody should be in one of these clubs. Everybody should show an interest where they live, what they've been brought up with, because things have changed so much that really, I just think it's marvellous that we have something like that. And I do think there should be funding for all different things.
Well, I'm Vera Scott and I come from Carrickfergus. We just enjoyed the whole ambience of it, and the storytelling and the music was great and brought back a lot of memories. And just to thank Beth for having run the project and got us involved in it, and a lot of people, we live in Carrickfergus, a lot of people have never been in the town hall to see the pictures, so it's been very nice. Thank you very much for asking us.
Okay, the next award winner is Daniel McCabe, who's learning assistant at the Glynn Vivian Art Gallery in Swansea. He joined the team in 2013 to focus on youth engagement through digital media, but he's worked across family programmes, on the Young People's Black Kettle Collective Young Art Force, on the schools programme with over 55s, and also adult with special and additional needs. It's a huge amount of work in terms of using digital technology to reveal more about the collections, and also with young people in over regular Saturday workshops to develop a computer game about the life of Richard Glynn Vivian, whose art collection is at the heart of the gallery. So I'd like to invite Daniel up to receive his award and introduce his film. Thank you.
Wrote some stuff on my phone so I don't forget things, so if you'll bear with me while I unlock it. Thanks to everyone at the gallery I've been working with, to Jenny, Tom, Katie, Laura, Arwen, Charlotte, Evelyn, Ellie, Dave, Emma, Ray, Alan and Doody. My family, my beautiful partner Adele Vi, and our 2 beautiful boys for making it all great. To all the young people, and older people I've had the privilege of working with over the past 2 years, who really have made the job a joy. Thank you to the Marsh Trust for this honour, and to Engage Cymru for all the wonderful projects I've had the opportunity to work on. The film we've got is a snippet from a robotics workshop that we put on at the end of our computer game project to try and give kids a kind of full perspective on the process. So I hope you enjoy. Thank you.
Get to my iPod. I'm not going to my iPod.
I nominated Dan for the Marsh Award because of his integrity, the fact that he sees the whole sort of child and what he wants to offer is, or any individual that he works with, he wants to give them ways in to not only things that he's interested in, but things that will equip them for other aspects of their lives. And he imbues all of that with it's always a sense of creativity. It's how could we take it forward, but very sort of sensitive to the people around him as well. Dan's worked with the Saturday Morning Art Club. He focused on the Richard Glynn Vivian project, which is part of a HLF grant. That's with Richard Glynn Vivian animation and also the computer game, both illustrating the life of Richard Glynn Vivian as a kind of adventure game. And the computer game will be part of the exhibition installation in the new gallery, which will open next year.
The video game project was immensely rewarding, but it was also really challenging. You know, how do you teach a group of kids between the ages of 5 and 13 with limited resources and limited computers to actually make a video game? Well, inevitably it becomes more about the creative element of that, and I think I've tried to program things so kids have primers in robotics, give them a full view of the process.
Our next award winner is Victoria Mays, who is Head of Learning at McCabe Gallery in Milton Keynes at the McCabe Gallery, where she's been since it opened in 1999, but has recently appointed as Head of Learning at the Gallery. She has initiated a youth engagement project, Lost and Found, which was supported by the lottery, which ran for a number of years up till 2014. She's delivered off and on-site programmes and an early years programme over the last few years. During the closure, she's also been piloting some innovative approaches for education work. I think the gallery is due to reopen in 2017. So I'd like to invite Victoria to accept her award. Thank you.
I'd just like to say a quick thank you to Engage, the Marsh Awards, and Anthony Spire for the nomination. It's nice to come back and accept this in Glasgow, given that the first conference that I ever went to was 2001 in Glasgow, and I've got fond memories of that conference as well. So I hope the film gives you a brief overview of the past 15 years and just some of the highlights that are really close to my heart and really passionate. I work with a passionate team who feel equally strongly about the importance of arts and education. So, I hope this gives you a taste of that. Thank you. I've worked for MK Gallery for over 15 years. I started when we first opened in 1999, and during that period I've had multiple roles within the learning programme. Head of Learning currently, I've worked as off-site and outreach education coordinator, informal learning manager, so I've had the benefit of working with a range of audiences. Looking back over the last 15 years, I've obviously worked with mixed ages and abilities. We programme right from parent and toddler through to adult engagement programmes, school engagement programmes, and our aims are really to bring our audiences closer to artists and the artistic process, and therefore understand our exhibitions in more depth. So to pick a couple of highlights would be in 2007 I initiated a project with Lost and Found, that's our youth forum, and grew that over the next 7 years. I also, from 2009 onwards, I restructured the whole family programme. So initiated the parent and toddler sessions, developed a weekly Saturday programme and really grew that to what it is today. I've had the fantastic opportunity to work alongside a whole team of inspiring and creative individuals, and I really feel passionate about the role that arts can play in our everyday lives.
I've nominated Victoria because I think she deserves it. She's seen an enormous amount of change throughout that period and was born in Milton Keynes, has actually grown with the city, and her role itself has developed incredibly over the period from a relatively junior role into her current position as head of department, and the vision and enthusiasm that she's had for the future of the gallery as it undergoes quite a major transformation is really exciting.
At the heart of the programme is really the opportunity to inspire participants, to empower young people and audiences, and to open up creative and cultural opportunities. There are a few people to say thank you to. Engage in the Marsh Awards for the recognition, and for the gallery team that I work with on a day-to-day basis. MK Gallery is about to undergo significant capital expansion. We're obviously going through a period of transition and change, and I would like to use the award to work with a mentor. I'm hoping that they'll work with me to offer independent advice, some peer support, and help myself and the team grow the learning programme.
And the final award winner this evening is Caitlin Page, who's Learning Programme Manager at the Fruitmarket Gallery in Edinburgh. And the Young People's Programme there has always been something which my organisation we've looked across with great admiration of really forged work. The work that they've done, particularly a peer-led programme for 16 to 25-year-olds, Fresh Fruit, is now integrated into the broader Young People's Programme at the Gallery. There's a commitment that the Fruitmarket has to, and that Caitlin has, to working with young people from different socio-economic backgrounds, engaging with art, and also with a particular interest in working with audiences from the deaf community. So I'd like to invite Caitlin to receive her award and also to show her film. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks to Engage and thanks to the Marsh Trust, and thank you to my colleague Stacey, who can't be here this evening. She's actually running an event at the Fruitmarket Gallery, a panel discussion around our new exhibition tonight. Like MK Gallery, we're also undergoing a building development, working towards a redevelopment of the Fruitmarket Gallery, and hope to use the award for a bit of research around new programmes, ideally, hopefully, to go towards a trip to Brazil, where our director visited recently and was really impressed by their work with deaf audiences, which is something that we've explored a bit before and is something that we want to pursue developing for the new building. I'm going to briefly introduce a clip from a film from a recent project that we've done with our youth group called Fresh Fruit, which performs part of our wider learning programme that consists of workshops with young people, community groups, schools, interpretation talks and events for adults, which is delivered by my colleague Stacey. Fresh Fruit has been developing at the gallery for 3 years and continues to do so in response to the needs and interests of the group. Its overall aim is to develop the skills of young people in engaging with contemporary art through projects, discussion, and making in a kind of supportive, peer-led environment. It emerged from a long-term project called Artworks, which was working with 16 to 19-year-olds who were out of education and employment. After which we had a group who wanted to continue, and they chose a new name and direction of the project to consist of weekly sessions. So they posed art challenges for themselves. They used the group as a sort of crit, really to come together to share practice and learn from each other. They ran projects with artists that were developed by the group, so they wrote briefs for artists, including a trip to Orkney and resulting exhibitions in Edinburgh and at the Peer Arts Centre in Orkney, which Carol from the Peer Arts Centre is going to talk about a bit later. Over the last year, we've sort of changed tack again, and we've been focusing on intensive or longer-term sort of co-production projects with artists that are open-ended and that result in some sort of sharing or documentation of the work, whether that's through film, an exhibition, performance, or documentation through the blog, alongside opportunities for members of the group to start running workshops for younger people, so opening up the programme to 11 to 15-year-olds through taster workshops. The project that you're going to see a snapshot of here is led by a dancer and choreographer called Rosalind Masson. It focuses on dance and movement using contact improvisation to navigate the space in and around and within an installation by Phila de Barlow, which was our art festival exhibition this summer, just recently finished in October. The suggestion to focus on contact improvisation came from one of our members of Fresh Fruit, Becky Sharp, who's around at the conference for the next couple of days as well. And contact improvisation is a dance form that uses touch, balance, and a shared point of contact to move within a group. And Phila's exhibition, where she talks about choreographing the audience's route around the space, felt appropriate to explore this in. So you're going to see a snippet from the second day of this intensive project, where the participants are starting to talk about how their explorations are beginning to relate to the sculpture and their movement in the space.
We think that our movement relates to the sculpture. I guess in a way it was very small, simple, quite, not very dynamic movements, but I feel like that relates well in the sense that the sculpture is technically static, it's at a fixed point, but there's also this energy there, and it's almost, I feel like the sculptures feel as if they're in that transition of moving.
The bit that we're looking at in particular is very built up in terms of different blocks. So we wanted to kind of get that real feeling of the weight resistance against the pair of us and that kind of sense of balance that the sculpture really seems to have, especially in the section we're looking at, because it's kind of two solid blocks that come together as corners.
It is easy to relate the movement in quite a superficial way to the material form of the sculpture, taking in the angles, the empty spaces, the absence or presence within it, particularly this installation. So it would be quite easy to just replicate the sort of spatial situations that are already there, or bring the dancer close to the surfaces. I'm not really sure what I'm looking for, but I hope that maybe we'll come to it. Maybe it will have something to do with the process and thinking about how this work was made.
We're finding out what the relationship is between the work of Philip de Barlow and contact improvisation. We've worked with different elements that are apparent in both the sculpture and in contact improvisation, such as forces, direction, texture and touch, momentum, gravity and weight, and motion and dynamic, as well as the time and the process these different mediums take.